welcome back to my channel. I'm Leanne, if you don't know. Today's video is going to be a cooking video. This is what I made for Father's Day dinner, and it is going to be Philly cheesesteak sliders, chicken sliders, and then a strawberry pineapple jello poke cake. So let's get right into the video. Alright, I'm going to be voiceovering this, and this is the third time I have done this voiceover. The last time it was sped up and I could not figure out why, so here I am again. So I have a London broil, and I'm just slicing it really thinly, as thin as I can possibly slice it. And then I'm going to stack those on top of each other and cut them again into small chunks. And you want to cut them as evenly as you can. Make sure that your pieces are as even as you can. That way they all cook evenly. And this lets it cook and be extremely tender. And then I've got chicken breast, and I'm using 1.5 chicken breast here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut it into strips and then turn the strips and stack them up and turn them into, or cut them into little pieces. Just that way on your sandwich you've got bite-sized pieces. You don't want like big old chunks of chicken or beef on your sandwich unless you do. I mean, that's your preference, but this is how I like to do mine. And that way they cook evenly. And then I use 1 onion for the beef and 1 onion for the chicken. And again, I just peel it, cut it in half again, and then slice it into as small of strips as I can. That way, again, it cooks evenly. It cooks down a little bit faster when you saute them. And then you've got, you know, not big old hunks of onion throughout your sandwiches when you eat them. And then I'm using poblano peppers, and I'm using 4 altogether. I'll use 2 in the beef and 2 in the chicken. And I'm going to do the same thing. Well, with these, I took the seeds out, and the ribs, if there was any big ribs in them, I took that out. And then I cut them in half, and then some of them I had to cut in half, or cut in half and then cut in half again, and some of them I just cut in half. But you cut them to whatever size you want them. I just like mine kind of in strips, but in smaller strips. And this way, once again, they cook and get really tender when you do cook them. And I substitute poblano for bell pepper. I don't know if I said this, but... And then I'm going to take my meat and season it with chicken bouillon. I used 2 teaspoons for each one of those, and then smoked paprika, and I just kind of eyeball the rest of the seasonings just to however much I think is going to be enough. And then thyme leaves, and once again just eyeballing it to however I think. Onion powder, and same thing, eyeballing it. And then the garlic powder, and same thing, I eyeball that too. But you can season with whatever you want to. I also put some basil in there. But you can use any seasonings that you want. If you want it spicy, throw in something spicy. And then I took some garlic cloves, minced them, and added those in. And then you just want to mix it together. I like to use my hands. I like to really just get in there. And this way you get all your seasonings distributed evenly throughout the meat. And then cover it. If you have a lid for your bowls, I have a lid for that one, but not the other one. But if you do, then use that. If not, use plastic wrap so you can put it in the fridge for a couple hours. And then in my cast iron skillet with a little bit of oil, I add my pepper and onions, let them cook down some, and then add in my meat. And just let that saute together until it's cooked. And then I've got slider buns and provolone cheese, and I'm just adding some provolone cheese on there before I start adding my meat mixture. And I try to add my meat mixture as evenly as I can on the sandwiches, just trying to make sure everyone has meat onions and peppers on their sandwiches. And then more cheese on top, and then I will put the bun on top of that. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the chicken. Saute my peppers and onions, a little bit of salt and pepper, and then throw my meat in there and just cook it, stirring occasionally until it is all cooked through. And then again, slider buns, provolone cheese, and then the meat mixture. And then using my hands to make sure it is spread out. I'm a kind of a hands-on type of cook. I like to really get in there and use my hands to make sure everything is the way I want it to be. And it's easier when you're doing this to use your hands and, to kind of push the meat around. And then more cheese. And then we will put the buns on top of there. And this is a butter mixture that is going to go on top of the bread. It's just butter, onion powder, garlic powder, and thyme. And if you're not going to cook them right away, don't do this until you're about to put them in the oven. This is going to help them get good and brown and toasty on top. And I use a brush to brush the butter on there. And then they cooked at 425 for 10 minutes, and halfway through I took them out. I put on some gloves so it wouldn't be too hot, and I smashed them down and then put them back in for 5 more minutes. And that's some potato wedges that I just cooked up to go with the sliders. And now it's cake time. I used a pineapple, box cake. It's simple, it's quick. All you need is water, oil, 3 eggs, and you're good to go. Just add it all into the bowl and mix it together until all the lumps are gone. You can use any flavor cake that you want to for this cake. And then it's supposed to go into a 9x13 pan, but I think mine was an 8x8. So my cake was just a little bit, I don't know, it might be 9x13. And then I'm taking a skewer and just poking holes in. You can use a skewer, a straw, just anything. And then my strawberry jello, you just mix it according to the box, pour it over, throw some Cool Whip on there. And again, you can use any kind of jello that you want, any flavor. Since my jello is strawberry, I'm putting strawberries on top. And then cover it in plastic wrap. And it needs to go in the fridge and sit for at least 3 hours to kind of chill and all come together. And that's how it looked. That was a really, really good cake. And that is the end of the video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you do try out either one of these recipes, then let me know how it was. Did you enjoy it? This is one of my daughter's favorite meals that I make. She loves the Philly cheesesteak sliders. And the oven roasted potato wedges, I didn't really show how those are done, but it's just pretty much you take your potatoes, cut them into wedges. I soak mine for just a little bit, and then you drain them and make sure you dry all of the liquid off of them. And then you just cover them in oil, and then whatever seasonings you like. I did mine with onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, seasoned salt, and some pepper. The paprika was smoked paprika. But they're just really simple, and then you just cook them on 425 in the oven. And I flip them about halfway through because they brown on one side, and then you want to flip them so they can brown on the other side, and just cook them until the potato is fully cooked through and as crispy as you want it to be. It's just a little bit of a healthier way to have like a French fry without all the oil that you would get from frying them. But anyways, I hope you really enjoyed my video, and like I said, if you do try any of these out, comment, let me know. Give this video a like, share. It really helps me out, and I hope to see everybody in the next video. Until then, have a wonderful, blessed day.